Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the Richmond vs St Kilda game and going through who went well. Taranto, again, killing me, and Marshall, and my three St Kilda guys, top three scores with a ton, and my Richmond guy, 147, was huge. And I don't think I had anyone else in this matchup, no. So, yeah, I did really well this game. This was probably my game of the round for my team. Cleaned up, and yeah. So before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So, as you can see here, Taranto 147, absolutely huge, 55-point last quarter. I thought at three-quarter time here, him sitting at 92, there's a chance he goes about 7-8 points over what Dunkley did. Say a 30-point last or something like that, gets to 122, that's a 9-point difference, that's not bad. He kicked a goal late on, which kind of killed it. That goal late on, 138, that was more stomachable. But he just had a ridiculous quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 disposals, a goal. 1, 2, 3, 4 tackles in it as well. So a 4 tackle quarter is huge in itself. If you have like 3 disposals, that's where you can get a 25-point quarter. So we had a goal, 3 tackles, a mark in it as well. I mean, a singular mark isn't too bad, but he just had a ridiculous last quarter, and 95-point second half is ridiculous. I think he had something close to 20 odd disposals. I'll quickly check that up in the second half alone. So while we move on, Cochin's not that important, to be honest. I was just tracking this, like, he got off to a hot start and then just sort of cooled a little bit in the third, but sort of had a good game all round. Trying to get to the third quarter stats for disposals. Taranto had 10 and 13, so he had a 23 disposal second half, which had 16 kicks in it. So that's 48 points just from kicks alone in the second half, along with 4 tackles, because he didn't have a tackle in the... he had one... Oh, he has a lot of tackles in the third here. He had in total 6 tackles and a mark in the second half alone. So he had 24 points from tackles, 48 from kicks. So that's already 72. Had a goal in there, so that's 78. A mark, 81. And then had, I'm guessing, 7 handballs in it. So 2 and 5. Yeah, that's 7 handballs. So that's how we got the 95. And no free kicks against, I believe. So if we go to Taranto, 0 free kicks against, and that's fine. Honestly, with these type of midfielders, if you can get just sort of a 0 with in terms of point scoring from free kicks and free kicks against, that's really good, honestly, because there is a high likelihood with how free kicks go that you're going to lose points out of that. Loston, Short, Nankervis. Short's someone that I've looked at for defender, but if he was to get it, but he's not going to, obviously, and he's not a midfield quality type of guy, so no for him. Nankervis had a bad game, finally. Prestio, Graham, Miller, Ross, Bolton, Rioli, Broad, Baker had one of the funniest goals I've ever seen. I think it was in this goal he kicked here, as that was his only goal. In the back line, about 30 out, and he spoiled the guy from when he was just trying to kick it down the middle. Because why would you kick it down the middle when you're 30 out from your own goal? And he spoiled it, picked it up, and staffed it around his corner for a goal. And yeah, that was just pretty much epitomised how this game went. St Kilda just killing themselves, especially Dougal Howard with how he played. Apparently, from what I heard, he caused about 5 goals on his own. He might have been even the one that caused the Baker goal. And no one else here really. Samson Ryan, 17. So for those who held, I think he lost, from what I've just seen there, I think he might have lost 40k or so. If we look here, Samson Ryan, he lost 33k and is at 401k. And if I go back to when I traded him in round 12, does it say exactly? I don't think it does, but if someone wanted to go back into the video and comment it down below in my round 12 preview, it would have been, I would have traded Samson Ryan, and I want to say it was 454 or 469k that I traded him for. So I've made 50k from trading him early and not holding on to him. And yeah, so that's really, I think, positive business for me, especially because it's allowed me to get guys like Sheldrick and stuff like that. And yes, I didn't get Ramsden's. There was no rookie, ruckman this year. I think next year is when we will get a batch of rookie ruckman. I think because we'll have McAndrew will play a little bit more. If we look at McAndrew, 2 games 42, so he'll have a 24% discount on that. So we'll go 0.76 times 42, and you'll see he will be priced at, given the prices of last year's guys, as in the initial starting number was 8851, he'd be priced to 282 or 283k, so that's a perfect price for him. You've got Ryan, who could easily become a number 1 ruck, but I don't think he will. He would be priced at 48 times 8851. No, not that. 48 times 8851, which would be 424. You've got other rookie ruckman. If I go to ruck, 200k. You've got Ned Moyle, who could be interesting. 2 games 54, so he'd have the 24% discount on that. Times 54 is 41 times 8851. Divide by 8851. Divided by 851 times 8851. He'd be priced at 363, which would be interesting. You've got all these other guys like Barnett could honestly debut sometime. Keeler or Allison or Heath could debut for St Kilda. You've got the Carlton rucks as well. Edwards is probably in line sometime. Smith, all these guys could ruck. Even Owens could debut for Sydney as well next year. You've got all this rucking talent. Madden could debut sometime. Stein could debut. You've got so much rucking ability that could honestly debut, or move clubs to debut. So we do have rucks next year that could, as well as we actually do have a rookie guy who will be, we do have a rookie that's in the class of 2023. I will bring it up on my phone, and while we go through St Kilda, that does seem like he will be drafted early, as in like top 10 or so, and he will be 280k or so, but he will be a leading ruckman, and that'll really help, I think, with all these guys out. So you have Brad Crouch here, 109, had a really good first half, and then continued it on. A little bit disappointing that he had a 14 and 19. Marshall, 103. I don't know if that's an injury cloud or anything, but just really happy with him and his production. Just trying to just find this draft ranking for this guy, because I know that there's I'll find it. I'll keep scrolling, but Marshall, he did really well. He was on 57 and then a 19 and 27. And then you have here Sinclair or 100. Glad to bring in both Crouch and Sinclair, and I also brought in Sheldrick, so I brought in 291 points, and it was for, if we look back here, 11. I have also gained already 39k. I've already gained over 100k from these guys out of guys that did not play. So that was absolutely huge, and that was a lot of where my cash gen came. I got almost like 200k of cash. It was roughly around, I reckon, that 180k of cash gen or so, just from these guys. Still trying to find this ruckman. There is a leading ruckman, I swear. Trying to, but I cannot find him. Oh, here we go. Mitchell Edwards. He will probably, I reckon, go to a WA side. He could honestly. It does say ruck, so that kind of does suck. But if he is a ruck forward, he could go to he could go to the Eagles and be their number one starting ruckman if he is a ruck forward, and then we can just play him at that F6 role starting the season at 280 or so K, because he's a ruck forward. He would honestly probably average 65 or 70 and have those big games because he's 207 and 207, so he'd be a good tap ruckman as well, which would be 30 to 40 points in that. And then if he can get around the ground, he could be the pick to start. If he gets that forward status, he will be the pick to start. It will be like Harry Sheezel this year, in getting him and just starting it in that forward line and watching him grow, because he will be huge. And then it does mean that we probably have to guess with a ruckman in that ruck spot, but having him with forward status would be helpful. But if he is a only ruckman, you'd be putting him in that R3 and just watching him grow in cash. So onto this, you got Hill, and then you have Windhager, which, if you guys saw quickly, was one of the guys that I brought in this week, as he's got a really low break even. We're talking now he has a break even of 16. He'll hit that. As if we look at his stats now, he's had sub. I'm pretty sure this might have even been a sub. This game wasn't a sub, but 58 from him is all right. I think he was in a tagging role, to be honest, as well, maybe. And 85% for a 59, that's all right. And then another sub. So it does look like he's averaging 45, but if you take out the 1, 2, 3, even just those 3 games there, you take out 15, 25, and 16, which is 51 points off of 8 times 44.6 minus 51. That gives you, and then you divide by 6. He's actually averaging 51 in full games, and he's got a 66 and now an 85, and he's starting a streak here. So last 3 games of 57. So he should be able to gain quick cash, and I just need him for this 1 week. I just need him 1 week, and he should be on Neil this week, which will hopefully not only stop Neil, because I'm not getting in Neil, but hopefully it will also help me to help him to get a good score. If he can get another 80 and go up by 60k, he could get up to 500k before I need to trade him out, and that'll be absolutely huge for my team, because if you think about it this way, these two will jump in, and Darcy Cameron will jump into the forward line from my bottom row. And then Bont and Green will jump in for Wilmot and Chesser, and then my team will basically have Johnson, Ashcroft, and Atkins as sort of guys I need to upgrade, and keeping a watchful eye on Keys and Darcy Cameron, as Darcy Cameron only 7.5%. That will go up to, note that 7.5%, that will go up to, I reckon, 12 or 13 at least by the end of, by the time that the Thursday night, is it? We got Thursday night footy. Okay, Thursday night, that will go up. So then we talked about Windhager, Wilkie, Ross, Wangan and Malira went down early. As you can see, no points until the 16-minute mark, and ended up with a 75. Kind of annoying for anyone that traded him in, but barely hit his break even, and now doesn't look the best. He could be under an injury cloud. Wood battle, Philippou 68. He started off strong, but then faded very quickly. Butler, Webster, and then we talk about Steele. Oh my, he is going to be an uber premium, an underpriced premium next year. I think I did the math, and right now, I believe he's sitting at a price of an average of 93 and a price of, what does that put him at? Around the 830, 840 range. But if we take his last 3 of 75 and we extrapolate that for the whole season, he will be sitting at 744k. So basically what's going to happen is you will see a starting team next year of basically people going for probably Tim Taranto, Jack Steele, Callum Mills, and some other guys, as Callum Mills will be priced at around that 780k as well. So you're getting 2 guys who are 110 scorers on their day for a combined probably the equivalent of about 170 points worth, I think, of that's what they're going to be. So you have like 50 or 60 points of upside with premiums alone in those two guys. So I think you get those two guys, and then you allow yourself to get Tim Taranto, who's going 130s next year. So it could be absolutely huge. But yeah, Jack Steele just still problems with his knee, so getting in Crouch is almost a must for some people this week. Getting in Crouch, getting in Dawson is a must, and probably Darcy Cameron. So those are my big three trade targets, I think, this week. Higgins, Stocker, and no one else here really. Howard got subbed out as he had a shocking game. Cameron Minty, Burns, and Sharman. So that's the video there. If I go back to the main screen now, that's the video, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.